Welcome to the 1090 podcast. I'm here with Katlyn Hood. Katlyn, how are you doing today?
I'm actually having a pretty good day.
Yeah, we're vibing right now. You brought your friend Tara?
Yes.
She fixed your hair before we turned on the cameras?
Yep. She's a really good friend.
So we're good. I'm going to embarrass you right now, but worried about the outfit. I thought there was too much cleavage, so you went to the store, got a scarf. We're really overthinking it.
I'm really overthinking it. Yeah, definitely. I then went through your entire Instagram and was looking at everybody else's outfit.
Oh, no, not that.
And I went down a really intense rabbit hole, so then we had to make a pit stop, and we still made it on time, so I was pretty impressed.
Yeah, you have a good friend. Sorry about the address change, too. We didn't make it easier on you, but... Yeah,
I also got a brand new pair of boots at the store, so not these ones, but okay. It worked out that
the boots wouldn't make the camera anyway.
Yeah.
So, but no, thanks for coming. I know it's not easy to talk about, so I appreciate you being on our podcast and talking about your grief.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
I'll start with the obituary.
Yep, let's do it.
Who wrote this?
I believe it's a little blurry, but I think it was my best friend. Wrote it and then just kind of let me review it and approve it.
Good friend right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Been friends since we were 4 years old.
William Andrew Hood. Our precious son, William Andrew Hood, laughed and smiled for his 6 months and 1 day on this earth, bringing light and happiness to all who met him. Coming into the world 3 weeks early, he was determined to make a lasting impression on friends and family. He passed away peacefully in his sleep on November 16th, 2021. William was born on May 15th, 2021 in Salt Lake City, Utah, to his loving parents, Andrew and Katlyn Hood. William was an answer to all of Andrew and Katlyn's wishes, as their biggest dream in life was to become parents. He was often called Mr. William, Mr. Blue Eyes, Chunk-a-Monk, and Baby William. During his brief and meaningful time on this earth, William enjoyed his daily walks with his dad while listening to the best of music. He would try to stay away during each walk. He would try to stay awake during each walk, but often had fallen asleep only moments before pulling back into the driveway. William especially loved when his mom and dad sang to him. He shared his dad's love of sports and enjoyed watching the Jazz and Broncos. His favorite pastimes were being on Dad's shoulder, wrapping both his fists in his mom's hair, playing on the floor gym, his binky, and story time. He loved bath time and fussed when he had to get out. William had the most tranquil demeanor of any child and only cried when he was hungry. William experienced a lot of life in his short time with us. He visited family and friends in Arizona. He was also able to see his first Utah Jazz game just days before his passing. William's parents had big dreams and hopes for him and will forever be saddened by his indescribable loss. William is survived by his mother and father, Katlyn and Andrew Hood, his grandparents, Brian Booth, Teresa Reinecker.
You got it.
Kenneth Reinecker, William and Angie Robinson, his 12 aunts and uncles, and his 5 cousins. He was adored by so many and brought joy to all. He will always be the most precious gift to his parents and will forever remain in their memory. Family and friends are invited to attend a Celebration of Life gathering on Sunday, November 21st at Larkin Sunset Gardens. Got me at the end of that obituary. It's just so little, so young.
Mm-hmm.
Well, where do you want to start today with your story?
Yeah, I think it kind of talked about it in the obituary of that we really did a lot to get William here. And what I mean by that is we were really intentional to become parents. So, I mean, I'm the type of person who's planned basically my entire life and, you know, planned to get my scholarship, go to college, knew I was moving to Utah, knew I wanted to have children, you know, I like had a plan. And for many years, the plan worked out. And then when we went to go get pregnant, I found out I had fertility issues. And so we ended up having to go through fertility treatment to get pregnant. And so everything about bringing William into this world was completely and totally intentional. And so, yeah, I kind of want to just start there of that. He really, truly was just wished for, prayed for. So much of our friends and family supported us through our fertility treatment. And that went on for about a year.
I think that adds to some of the pain, just like the focus on it and the intent of it.
I mean, just really wanting to be parents, and when you're younger, I mean, when I was younger, I really didn't think I wanted to be a parent. Like, I was like, I'm not having kids. I'm like in my college party days and I'm like, no, I'm not going to be a mom. Right. And then you mature and grow up and then you find someone that you care a lot for and realize like, that stage of life approaches and you want to become a parent and all your friends are becoming parents and it's not something you can really describe to somebody until they experience it. So, I was really excited when I got pregnant. I had an amazing pregnancy. Like, wasn't sick, didn't have any issues. And
no, like cravings even? Like any?
I did have cravings.
What'd you crave?
I don't typically like sweets, but I did like sweets during. So there's 3 things I would eat.
This is great.
So I loved the chicken nuggets from Chick-fil-A.
Who doesn't?
The brownies from Chick-fil-A. Did you know they sell?
I've never had a brownie.
You need to try those. And then this really random Subway sandwich combination.
Cold cut combo.
But I had them toast it because you're not supposed to eat deli meat when you're pregnant, apparently. As long as they cook it. It's fine.
Right. I'm so glad I'm a guy. Like, I can't be pregnant. I don't know.
Somebody can Google that. Fact check me on that.
Yeah. But I think it's important to talk about because you can't get pregnant. You finally get pregnant, and then obviously it doesn't go well for you. So I'm sorry you went through the ups and downs of that.
Yeah.
And then he was born 3 weeks early.
Mm-hmm.
You want to walk us through that at all?
Sure. So it was actually his dad's birthday. So his dad's birthday is May 14th. He had taken the day off work to go golfing with friends. And I was still working. I was planning to work up until the day I delivered because I was working from home. So I was doing a computer job and it was fine. And that morning I woke up and I just wasn't feeling good. And I had my 37-week appointment already scheduled. But I felt really lightheaded walking down the stairs, but still sent him off to the golf game and knew he'd be back to take me to the appointment. When we got to the appointment, my blood pressure was through the roof. And it was crazy because like my entire pregnancy, 120/80 perfect blood pressure. On the day of my 37-week appointment, it was like, I don't even remember the number, but it was, they did a check on my knee where they check your like reflex. My leg shot off the table.
Kick the doctor.
Yeah. And they like did, they have to like look at the protein in your system and things like that. And the doctor was like, you're having this baby today. Like, I'm not sending you home. This is what they call it as preeclampsia. It's high blood pressure at the end of a pregnancy, and it's very dangerous, more for the mother than the baby. And basically, like, your nervous system can shut down. So she was like, I'm going to let you go home and get your last Subway sandwich. And that's what I did. And your bag that you packed, because I had this huge suitcase, like, way overpacked. First time parent, I'm just like, I need everything.
The to-go bag.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was like the massive type of luggage, like that you take to like Europe.
You packed a lot of outfits in case.
You just
don't know what you're going to be in the mood for, and your mom, like, you don't know.
So yeah, I called my mom. I had invited her a little bit earlier in the year. I gave her a gift for Mother's Day that year, actually, to be in the room. So we bought her a Southwest gift card and asked her to be in the room because it was really important to me to have my mom there. And I called her and I said, you need to get on a plane and be here tonight. They're admitting me at 9 p.m. And I just remember feeling so many emotions within the next few hours of, like, you're ready, but you're also scared. And I'd never done this before.
Yeah.
Hoping things were going to go well. And just driving to the hospital, and just I took a video of him and I in the car, and just so happy, like
Aw.
through like. And then I also took a video of he like dropped me off in the valet section. I had to show like all my luggage because I have to document everything. And so then he's stoked because he's like, oh my gosh, my son's gonna be born on my birthday. This is 9 p.m. at this point. And I said, okay, let me explain something to you about how this works. Like, they have to like put me on medication, and it's going to take.
I don't know if we're going to make it 3 hours.
Well, I'm like,
whatever it is.
I've witnessed 2 bursts and they don't typically go that fast, you know? And so I was like, maybe, but likely not. So, and he got all hyped up on, goes to the cafeteria and gets coffee, which he never drinks coffee. And he's like getting all hyped up. And I'm like, you need to calm down because like I need a nap.
You're freaking me out.
I was like, I need a nap before I have a baby.
This is me in court. So like, this is so good.
I'm like, you're getting a little ahead of yourself. And that's okay. First time dad doesn't really have that experience, right? And so, yeah, they started me on the Pitocin and then it was very peaceful. I rested and my mom was able to make it to town.
So you don't sound like you were scared or it was nerve-wracking. No. It was just you were
No, it was very
went
peaceful.
with the flow of it.
Yeah.
And was it a good delivery?
It was a good delivery. At the very end, I think they said like either the tube was wrapped around his neck or his heart rate dropped, and they were going to take me into an emergency C-section. And they looked at me and they were like, you need to get this baby out right now, or we're taking you into emergency. And it just like immediately, like your motherly instincts.
Like, all right.
I'm like, he's not even physically here yet. And and I got so many compliments by the nurses and the doctors. They were like, I think I delivered in 27 minutes. And they were like, we've never had a first time mom deliver that fast.
Oh, man.
And there was this joke going on because there was a woman next door. The doctor was trying to decide which one to go to, her or I. She was on her 5th baby. And so she's like, she's definitely going to like have hers before you, so I'm going to go over there. Well, then they were like, hopefully this isn't too much information, but they were like, the nurse was like, let's do a practice push, because I guess that's a thing. And I did. And she's like, okay, let's not do that again. I'm going to need you to stop, and I need to go get the doctor right now. Because like they don't want to deliver without the doctor in the room. No. And I was like, don't give me a competition. Like you thought I wasn't
not that it's a race, but like
not that it's a race, but you
Seabiscuit over here.
I'm like, oh, you're on number 5 on number 1. Let's like hold my beer.
Hold my beer. It's going down. 27 minutes. Like I don't want to get too graphic either, but I go to the bathroom longer than that. Sometimes like 27 minutes is nothing.
Yeah,
like that.
That was impressive, and I mean, I just knew that his heart rate had kind of started dipping, and it's because they get kind of stuck in the birth canal and the baby gets a little distressed, and I really didn't want to have a C-section, and I was like, we're doing this. And then he was born, and he was a little blue at first, but started crying right away, and my mom was there, got to take all the pictures, videos, like so special.
Uh-oh. That's where Blue's nickname came from.
Oh, yeah?
Same thing happened to him. He got the umbilical cord wrapped around his neck.
Really?
And so we all just started calling him Baby Blue, and so his middle name's Blue, because we didn't have a middle name yet. But
wow.
So yeah, his first name's Julian Blue. Anyway, not to steal the show from William, but you delivered William.
Yep.
What was that like holding him?
Oh my gosh, you're just like on cloud 9. I mean, I could hardly even sleep while we were in the hospital because I just wanted to sit and stare at him. And I mean, he's just so calm and passed all his tests with flying colors, had a little bit of jaundice, which is typically normal, and especially with him being 3 weeks early, but didn't spend any time in the NICU, which I was super grateful for.
Oh, yeah.
Because oftentimes when babies are born early, they do have to spend time. But he was 7 pounds even, 19 inches long, which is pretty big for 3 weeks early.
Yeah.
They were telling me he was measuring big, and I'm a pretty tall person, and they base it off the femur of the baby. And so, like, I was really grateful that he was so developed and like didn't have to spend time on oxygen or anything like that.
Yeah. This is not what I was expecting, like losing your son so early. I thought like some bad news would be coming in during the pregnancy, but
no.
When did the concerns for William start to happen?
So there weren't any concerns. I mean, so as we were approaching like fall, he had a couple times where he got like a sniffle or a cough. At one point he had RSV, and keep in mind this is 2021, so we're still full-fledged in COVID, right? So you're just trying to be really mindful about how many people you've got your baby around and who. And we were trying to, express to our friends and family it was really important to us to make sure that they were healthy if they were going to come over and meet him, because we had worked so hard to get him here.
Right.
And everyone was very, very respectful with that. The RSV was a little tricky just because they have to like suction the baby's nose, and that was really sad to watch. But that was like in September, so that was like 2 months before he had even passed. When he had passed, he was completely healthy. There was no concern. So his death was completely sudden.
What was the cause of death?
He died of SIDS while he was napping at daycare.
You want to talk about what that is?
Sudden infant death syndrome. And it basically means that the baby just stops breathing in their sleep. So I dropped him off like it was any normal day, and ended up not being a normal day.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's the worst day of my life.
You want to talk about it?
So yeah, the day started out pretty normal. I was going into the office, and it was a Tuesday, and I was kind of flustered that morning, running a little bit late, and just kind of feeling, like still getting in the groove of like getting back to work from maternity leave, and like having a second person to get ready and get in the car. And then I got to do the drop off to get to the office. And I think I had a 9 a.m. meeting or something to attend. And so just like every day, we did our normal routine. We get him in the truck. We start driving. We take our stop at Chick-fil-A every single morning for my Diet Coke, which was not his favorite just because the car stopped moving. So he'd typically start crying in the drive-thru. It's like the only time he ever cried. So then I remember getting my Diet Coke, pulling out of the drive-thru, had to get out of the car, put his binky back in before we get on the freeway, because the binky was like lifesaver in the car. And then we were off with our day, and I went and dropped him off at daycare. And I remember kind of being in a hurry and not like snuggling him as much, handing him over that morning. And I don't know if that's real, or maybe this is like in my head that, I just like wish I would have savored a few more minutes. Yeah. But I went to work. It was a normal day at work. And then I had a 4:00 meeting I was in marketing at the time with the entire West Coast marketing managers. And I get a knock on my door, and my office door. It opens, and our receptionist pops her head in, and she said, "Katlyn, there's a police officer at the front desk for you." And I immediately like jumped off the Zoom. And at the time, my husband was a UPS driver. So my head kind of went to, he probably got into like an accident driving the truck. Like, I mean, I'm not usually in trouble with the law, so I don't know why there'd be a police officer at the front desk for me. So, but my head did go to like a loved one, right?
Yeah.
And so I walk up to the front pretty rapidly, I remember. And the police officer looked at me, and he was a young guy. And he said, is your name Katlyn Hood? And I said, yes. And he said, does your son go to daycare? And he listed out the address. And I said, yes, he does. I said, what happened? He said, there's been an accident at the daycare. And that's how vague he was. And I said, well, what kind of accident? Like, he wasn't crawling yet. So I was like, he couldn't have like bumped his head. Like maybe he got like dropped, or I didn't know. It was an in-home daycare. Just very few kids in the home. I think there was like 6 or 7 total that she watched. And he just was like, I don't have any other details than that, but he's being transported to Primary Children's Hospital right now. That's all he said. And I'm like, what? And so I think at that point, my legs kind of buckled and I kind of like, because I thought I was going to pass out. Because your mind just starts racing as a parent. And that's so vague, right? So, I think the receptionist went and got, at the time, who was my really good friend and also coworker, his name's Jake, went down and got him. So he comes out and he's like, what's going on? And I said, all he's telling me is there's been an accident. And the police officer, I said, well, I need you to drive me to the hospital to my baby. And he's like, that's not really protocol. Like, you kind of need to drive yourself. And I was like, I can't drive right now. And I said, like, even my logical, like, although you're like scatterbrained, my logic was like, you're a police officer who can get me there faster with sirens. So you're taking me to the hospital to my child. And Jake was like, I can take you. And I was like, no, he needs to take me. Like, I have to get, I don't even know what is happening at this point.
I don't know. I can't make a left. I can't merge onto a freeway right now.
No.
Yeah.
No, I was like, there's definitely going to be like more casualties if you let me drive a car right now.
Yeah.
And I think he was a rookie, to be honest. Like later on in the process, I think I realized he was very new.
Yeah, and who wants to tell a mom your kid is in the, like, yeah, it's a very difficult situation he's in. Like, no one likes to talk about it.
So I get in his car and we start driving. And I called my husband and let him know there had been an accident and that he needed to meet me at the hospital. And I called my mom, who's in Arizona, and I said, Mom, this feels really bad. Like, I have this really bad feeling. Well, then I look over to his monitor and his laptop's turned just enough that I can read what's on it. And it's the address of the daycare. And next to it, it says, baby found unresponsive, not breathing. And I just knew. Like, I dropped my head into my knees because I thought I was going to throw up. And he's blasting down I-15. And it's, of course, rush hour, right? Where it's like 4:30 at this point. And the sirens were so loud when you're inside the car. And I put my head down in between my knees and I started praying. And I said, God, I know I have not been the most loyal servant, but I promise I will dedicate my rest of my life to you if you please make sure my baby lives through this. And I was just begging and pleading. Because I had a really bad feeling. So we get to the hospital up at the U, and it's a pretty big hospital, so it's a little tricky. And the police officer went kind of to the wrong entrance. So I walk in, and I'm like, I'm here for William, and they're like, you're at the wrong entrance. You got to go out further north. And so we get back in the car, and it just felt like just chaos. And I walk in, and there's someone standing there, and they said, are you Katlyn Hood? And I said, yes. And they took me back immediately to the trauma area and took me to his room. And for those that don't know, University of Utah is a teaching hospital. So oftentimes there's a lot more doctors in the room than a typical hospital because they're teaching, I guess. So I turn the corner and he's in the very back room. And I look over and my baby's laying there with only his diaper on, tubes in his mouth, and they're pumping on his chest trying to revive him. And there's seriously 8 doctors standing around him. And they're, it's like the stupid Grey's Anatomy shows where they're push the epi and charge, and they're charging and I was like, I can't watch this. It's a sight you never you never leave your mind. Watching, think about how little a 6-month-old baby is. So one of the nurses grabbed me and put me into the room next door because I just couldn't watch and I couldn't do anything. I was completely helpless. And then my mother-in-law, who works downtown, showed up with my sister-in-law, and we sat there. And the doctor came in and said, Katlyn, they've been working on him since the moment they got to the daycare, all throughout the ambulance, and we've been working on him here for 35 minutes, and we're sorry, but your son didn't make it. And I mean, I'm sure you can relate to that feeling of just like a part of you dies in that moment.
Yeah, I feel like, my name was on the headstone with my wife, and yeah, I feel like that's appropriate. You feel like you died too. It's weird because do you compare yourself, or like, do you judge your previous self a lot, like how you used to handle grief or view it before you lost William? Like,
I mean, I feel like I really didn't have a lot of exposure to grief. I mean, I lost grandparents, and that's kind of feels like a normal thing in life with like,
it's more part of the, like, they
right.
old and you die. Like, I get that.
Yeah.
But this I don't get.
No, and I think I definitely like judge. There's like me before the death and me after, and we're completely different people.
Completely different.
And I don't know which one is per se better or worse.
I think, I don't know how to answer that too, because there's so much I miss about the old version of me. But I just think the amount of empathy I have now makes this version better, even though I deal with, there's parts of me that I don't like that I have now. But yeah, I think overall I do like this version of Mason better. But it's hard to, like, what do you want people to say to you? How are you still here? Like, how does a parent survive that image in their head? And how are you getting through? How are you coping with all the emotions?
I mean, definitely, like, in the beginning, you're just completely and totally numb. And I felt, it's like I don't think for maybe even a year I felt anything. Like, the first year, I almost don't remember.
Just a zombie.
Yeah. Like, you're just existing. I went back to work pretty quickly after to try and, like, have a distraction, which in a way kind of helped and then didn't as well. But there were times where I was drinking very, very heavily, trying to just numb myself. It's because you just don't want to remember the reality, and every morning you wake up and you're like, oh, this is still real. Yeah,
I hate being in my own body sober it's awful.
Yeah.
Like, it's just it's a Groundhog Day of images of the day that happened and just them.
Mm-hmm.
Their smile, their voice, and what we did together, what we should be doing now, and it's just it's exhausting. It's relentless.
Yeah.
And sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that I've been pretty vocal on social media with my grief. I took a break right after it happened, but then got back on and just kind of wanted to, I don't know. I feel like when you enter your 30s, you realize other people are also having tragedy in their life, right? And so I don't want to be the poster boy necessarily for grief, but I definitely want to let people know that, like, grieving is normal and it's okay not to be okay. And there was one point where we had a really close friend mention to another friend that Caitlin's grieving very loudly, which felt rude.
It does sound rude. It's always hard to tell in a text message. If that's how it came through. But
no, I think it was more like I'm being dramatic or something like that. And to your point,
oh God.
I'm like, I've done a lot of like therapy and forgiveness of like things that were said to me after the death.
Can you list some of the things real quick that people said?
I mean, we're in Utah, so a lot of people were like, he's with Jesus.
He's in a better place.
He's in a better place. And
Katlyn.
I would look at them and say, there is no way he's in a better place than at home with his mom and father, like his mother and father. Like at first I was stunned and didn't respond. Then I started getting mean with my responses and just wouldn't put up with it. Like I've literally cut people. I had someone as far as to go and say what they speculated was the cause of death. And
man, I'm so sorry. That's
super hurtful. Because it's unexplainable. And that's the thing is
they claim to follow Jesus. That's the most confusing thing.
Yeah.
Like, how does that come out of your mouth? Did you read anything that guy said? It's just like, what are you guys saying right now?
I know, and that's the biggest thing that I think I learned through it is I just wanted to send people YouTube videos on how to help someone who's grieving.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, we have this thing called the internet and Google, and you cannot be that, like,
we
just, I don't know if naive's the word or, and oh, this is the best one that I got. And this was told to me so often. I can't even imagine. I'm sure you got that one too.
all the time.
And I was like, probably like a year and a half in, I thought, you know why people say that? Because the moment you start imagining losing your child, it is such a horrific feeling in the pit of your stomach. You don't want to imagine it. You don't want to think about it. That's why people say it. I mean, it's literal. They can't imagine because they are refusing to let their minds go there.
100% spot on. That's why they can't talk about it.
Right.
They don't know how. They don't want to. They don't want to feel it. You know how much easier it is for them to go to bed at night and just thinking like, oh, they're in a better place.
Yeah.
That helps them. Doesn't help us, though. And, like, none of the logic makes sense. Like, how do we... Okay, kid has cancer. He's going to die. And the money that you spend, the amount of money you spend, and the prayers and the effort and the fear and all of the awfulness, he dies. He's in a better place now. We're spending all this money trying to keep him here from a better place?
Mm-hmm. And it's hard because at that point, I didn't really know where I sat religiously.
Yeah.
I actually still don't to this day. I want to believe in things like that, mostly because I want to see my son again. But I'm not convinced.
Well, what if you can see your son again with no religious dogma? Like, that's what most people believe, I think. Like, I think most people believe when they die, they'll see their loved ones again.
Yeah.
Or the people you like. If you have a terrible family, you probably don't want to see them. But I think that's what we all assume. Like, if there's anything after this, it's going to be with the people that we got along with and we liked.
Yeah.
I get all that part, but I just don't get the whole dog and pony show with all the other stuff that comes with it. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. And the thing is I know that, and I want to also say that there was a lot more compassion and support, but those negative comments ride in your mind, right? Like, even if it's only like 1 of 10.
You get 100 good ones,
yeah.
But that one bad one.
Yeah.
Like,
and
it's true.
And it's like, and I just had to, it took me a lot of time to have forgiveness for things people said. And you have to just end up being the bigger person because you're like, sure, I can be mad at you, but at the end of the day, it's just beating me up inside to be mad. And at the end of the day, you're just ignorant.
Yeah.
So I'm going to forgive you for that.
How's that been going for you? Has that been?
Pretty good. There's still some relationships I don't care to have back in my life that were, everything changes after this, right? And The other thing is that everyone in my family absolutely adored him. And so I was battling my own grief, supporting my husband's grief, and then my entire family grieving the loss of their nephew, their cousin, their grandson. And it's just so heavy. Like, to this day, I won't let my mom tell me what that day was like for her because I can't like absorb it. Because she got on an airplane the moment I called her on that, and she was there that night. And like, I imagine what that plane ride would have been like. Like, I think about it sometimes, but I'm like, I won't allow her or my sister or my stepdad to tell me what it was like because I can't carry it. Like, because I can barely carry myself most days.
I relate to that so much, like, because that day for me was bad for everyone in my family. Everyone has July 25th, a story to tell, and you're right, it's hard to listen to that for so many reasons. It just uncovers all those feelings right there really fast.
It sometimes feels a little selfish, and I think just with therapy, I've realized, like, as human beings, we have such a limited capacity, and what happened was already so beyond someone's ability and capacity to experience.
Yeah.
So that's my threshold, and it just can't go beyond that, which is hard because I think that's really made some of my relationships in life suffer because I think I've kind of, the last couple of years, I became a little bit of like a recluse. Like, I won't attend a baby shower. And oftentimes I don't want to go to any family events because I don't want to be reminded that William's supposed to be 4.5 years old running around here with all his cousins. And it's just too much of an in-your-face reminder. So I've kind of separated myself. And I'll admit that. I mean, I like to think of myself as a pretty self-aware person. Like, I know what I'm doing when I'm doing it, right?
Yeah.
But there's a reason I'm doing it. And it's honestly out of protection. And some of my family has been really understanding of that. And then others have really struggled. And I know it's because it's out of love, right? They miss my presence and they worry about me a lot. But, I mean, like, this last birthday, I spent all day in bed by myself just crying. And, like, I had never felt that alone in my life. And I had invites to, like, hang out with my family, and I just didn't want to go. And I feel guilty sometimes, but it's like what I need. And I know myself well enough that I don't want to go be around my friends and family and be the Debbie Downer. Like, I hate crying in front of my nieces and nephews. It makes me feel so guilty because they're such empathetic children. And when I've cried in front of them before, I'll, like, look up and my nephew will just have tears in his eyes. I think he's 11 now. And he just feels my sadness. And I feel bad that those kids have experienced grief at such a young age, you know, and witnessed me go through it. And so, yeah, I've definitely, like, my 2026 resolution is I'm definitely trying to, like, be a little bit more involved and, like, come over the hump of, like, missing out on events. I think my heart has just gotten a little bit tougher that I can probably handle those things moving forward in small doses.
Yeah, you saw something and went through something that no human should see. And
yeah,
obviously you feel weak. All the feelings that come with it, like losing a child, you feel weak. But, yeah, definitely the strength it gives you in other ways. I feel that, too. Like, podcasting, for example. There's no fucking way I'd ever have the balls to start a podcast and be vulnerable before I lost. But there's no way that version of Mason would ever be interested or dare to do it. When you not wanting to be around your family because you don't want to bum them out, I struggle with this because the fake mask is hard too. So, like, if I don't show up and cry and show you how I'm feeling. I'm good, pretty good. How are you? Right? Like, pretty good. It's just this fake thing. And then that just wears me out so fast. Like, it just wears me out. Like, I start to hate myself. Like, you're such a phony, dude. Like, you're not. What are you doing?
The amount of times I've said fake it till you make it to myself.
Yeah.
Like, put on your hair, put on your makeup, or like do your hair, put on your makeup, I was in the corporate world for a long time, put on your blazer, get your ass to work and make it happen. It was exhausting.
Yeah.
Because you're right. It's like, it's so fake.
But, and maybe you're faking, but you're such a happy person. Like, even today, though, like, and it oozes out of you. Like, it's contagious.
Thank you.
So let's talk about that. How's the journey been? We're coming up on 5 years now. Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I guess what I'm asking is, you can talk about whatever you want in the 5 years, but I'm curious, like, how has your grief evolved, changed, or maybe it hasn't? Like, walk us through the 5 years.
Yeah. So the first year, like I said, was kind of a blur, and I went right back to work, which, like I said, didn't know if that was positive or negative, but I did it. And my husband really struggled with grief. Men and women struggle differently, and just human beings grieve differently. And so the first year was basically a fog. And then we always had a plan to have multiple kids. So we wanted 2 or 3, and we knew we wanted them back to back. And so as the year passed, I was like, hey, like, I really want to try and have more kids. And, both of us feeling very reluctant just due to the fact, like, what if this happened again? Like, we've barely survived this. Like, how could we survive it again? But then we ended up going back and doing some fertility treatment. I got pregnant again, and then ended up miscarrying at 10 weeks, which was devastating because it just felt like punishment. Like,
wow.
I reflected on my entire life. And I was like, what bad decisions did I make that made me deserve this shitty hand? Like, I want to pinpoint it. And you're, like, searching for it.
I do that, too.
I was like, is it because I got drunk that one night in college underage?
That's why I was laughing. Like, the things you come up with are just... So, yeah, that's why you should have lost your 6-month-old son.
Exactly.
And saw tubes out of it. Yep, that's why. Like,
I seriously was like... I mostly went back to, like, my college days because that's probably when I was the most unhinged.
Yeah.
Because that's what you're supposed to do.
What was the meanest thing I said or did?
And I don't even think it was anything mean. It was just more like, you probably broke the law a couple of times.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to say on the podcast what those things were because I'm not going to self-incriminate. But
damn. We're talking.
I thought I wanted to be a lawyer at one point.
Yeah, well, you still can now. You didn't say it. So you're good.
They may not have been illegal, actually. But
so say it then. No.
So what was it? No, but yeah. So that just was really frustrating. And then after the miscarriage, I think it just drove us kind of away from each other. And he like really didn't want more kids because he was just like, I can't do this again. It's just too hard. He's just heartbroken. And I was the opposite. I couldn't imagine not having more kids because when you become a parent, that's your identity.
Yeah.
More than a job, more than a hobby. Like, it's who you are. It's ingrained in who you are. And so that was really tough. And we kind of took some time to just talk about what our wishes were and if this really needed to kind of end in a separation, if we truly did want different things. And then 6 weeks later, I found out I was pregnant again, naturally, which is kind of crazy how the body does certain things. And
wait, so you're going through a separation maybe?
Yeah, we were like deciding to separate at this
And then
point.
so now.
So I'm in Arizona for training for work. And I had been having some stomach pain. And I was like, something's not right. And so I emailed my OB and I was like, hey, I'm not really feeling very good. These are my symptoms. And she's like, so I'm in Arizona with my family to give him some space to decide if we want to separate, okay? And I have a work training, so I have to be down there anyway. I'm at my sister's house, and my OB says, I need you to take a pregnancy test because it sounds like you're having symptoms of an ectopic pregnancy. I go take a pregnancy test, and it's positive.
You can't make this shit up.
No, and the thing that's kind of, I don't know if it's people are so compelled by how I can just say it like I'm talking normal, like a normal conversation. But it sounds made up.
Yeah, it sounds like a movie script.
Yeah, I definitely think that I should have like a TV show or something.
Yeah, Netflix series.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, oh, new season coming soon. Just wait a little bit. Like, new shit will happen.
Oh, yeah. It never ends.
Yeah.
But, so I'm like beside myself. She said, you need to go to the emergency room immediately. So they do a blood test. Sure enough, I'm pregnant. And they're like, there's a 5-centimeter mass next to your right ovary, which is the pain you're feeling. That's what they said. It was a mass. Okay. And I'm like cancer? Can you see a baby? Like, how far along am I? And they were like very, very vague. And so then I was supposed to be leaving on a cruise with my family for my 30th birthday. And I decide instead to go home to figure out if I'm pregnant, getting a divorce,
or like
all of the above. Probably need to figure out my life as I approach my 30th.
I don't think you could enjoy that cruise very well if you went. Yeah, that would.
So I went home, and 2 days later, go into my OB, and she said, we're taking you into emergency surgery. You're having an ectopic pregnancy. The baby has developed in your right fallopian tube, and that's what the mass is. And we need to remove your entire tube, which was absolutely devastating after already experiencing so much loss and fertility issues, because it just lessens your odds even more.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, the world hates me. Like, the world is just like out to like get me. You just feel like such a victim in that moment. And I went and had the surgery, and it was absolutely horrible. I woke up in so much pain, and the recovery was really rough. The scarring is horrible because it's just like a constant reminder. And at that point, him and I established, like, we're going to go our separate ways. Like, it almost feels like the universe is telling you that you're not supposed to be a mother.
Yeah.
And that's like the most painful thing.
Like, I don't want you to think that, but it makes perfect sense that you would think that. Like, I understand why you'd feel that way.
Yeah. So it's like, why do you keep trying to force something that seems like the universe is telling you it's not meant to be? And at the time, I was turning 30. So I was like, well, I don't want to have the same conversation in 5 years that we're still not on the same page about future children. And then I'm 35 restarting. Yeah. So I don't know. It was kind of I call it my come to Jesus moment, because I was just like, it's like shit or get off the pot.
Yeah. You have to make a decision here.
Yeah. And so, and that's the thing is, like, have so much respect for him. We're both very good people. And we had a really horrible thing happen to us. And a lot of our family, I mean, I even had family just last week. I went to lunch with some of his family members. And they said they were all salty, saying they're still not over our divorce. And I was like, if he and I are over it, I need y'all to move on. Like, it's not, no one like hurt the other person. We're not bad people. But like, we both deserve to be happy, and we want different things in life, and that's okay. And I've just learned to accept things faster in life now, because the more I try and like pull and just kick and scream, this isn't fair, this sucks, it does me no good.
Yeah.
Like, I just accept things for what they are now at face value.
I do too now. I almost do it too much, too quickly, like to the point of giving up almost. Like, no, like you can actually still. And I'm just like accept it. Like, nope, truck won't work. Need a new. Like, I've just moved on already.
Yeah.
Like, almost not a good thing.
I know. It is. It's kind of like you disassociate too.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you, what's it like grieving over your son with a husband that you're divorced from?
It's been really... So the divorce was really tough. I think that having lost our son amplified both of our emotions through the divorce. And kind of like, I'm going to take out my bad feelings about what happened to William out on you, and that was kind of rough.
If it's William's death date, are you guys sending each other a message?
So we text each other every Mother's Day, every Father's Day. We wish each other a happy birthday. We do a walk for William every birthday for him. Mm-hmm. And we walk 3 miles to his cemetery. And both of our families join for that. And then we definitely text on the death date. We don't go and celebrate the death date anymore. But I try and go decorate his grave for basically every holiday. And I'll always send him photos of, hey, look what I put up today. And he always is really appreciative. Also with the iPhone, they're always popping up memories of photos, which can be hard sometimes.
Yeah, good and bad.
So I didn't realize this, but apparently there's a lot of photos on my phone that he never had. So anytime something pops up, I send it to him, and he's always super grateful. Like, I never saw that one. I'm saving
love
it.
That. So that's
great. And it's it's very, very like, I have so much love and respect, and I know he does for me. And like the Mother's Day text that he sent me this year, I was an absolute puddle. Like, so.
I have many questions for you, but we have 20-something minutes left.
Okay.
I just want to give you a chance. Is there any direction or thing you want to talk about with the limited time we have? I don't want you leaving here with something that you wanted to talk about and you didn't.
I don't think so.
Think you're good?
Yeah. I'm curious what your questions are.
I've been starting to do grief guide sessions.
Okay.
And, I'm not very good. I'm okay. I charge $40 an hour, so I'm good with it. Like, not a lot. But it's a real struggle. Like, it's hard. Like, these people are crying, and I just start crying. I just start crying. They keep coming back, though. So anyway, okay. Here's the question. Some of these people I'm working with, like, they're really going through it. Like 4 months, 5 months just recently happened. And when they look at me and they're crying and they're like, what's the point? Like, what's the point of any of this? Like, if good people just die for no reason, out of the blue, what's the point? I don't know what to tell them. I agree with the question. I think it's a valid question. And that's kind of what I tell them. But how would someone like you answer that question?
So there's this song that I've been listening to quite a bit lately that kind of describes how I feel about life. And it's by Carly Pierce. She's a country artist. And it's called It Won't Always Be Like This. And what I think I take out of it is that it won't always be like this, the good and the bad. And that's kind of a scary thought because my life was the most complete and happy those 6 months and 1 day with my child. My 9-month pregnancy was absolutely blissful. I mean, I had the perfect life. I feel confident saying that. And you don't know when you're in it sometimes, right? And you don't think it can get taken away from you. But what I would tell people is that it's not always going to feel like this. There's that. I remember asking people who had lost. I got into like the SIDS groups and infant loss, and I went to grief groups, and I was like what day is it going to start feeling better? Like, is there like a time frame? And obviously everyone's story is different. Mine, I had no idea I was going to have all these miscarriages, ectopic pregnancy, divorce, learning how to be single at the age of 30 again after being with him for 10 years. Like, you could just go through all these things. And then just recently, a huge career change. And I guess the point is, I like to tell myself, and this might be really naive, that if it's not all worked out, it's not the end. Because in the end, it will all work out.
My mom loves that quote.
And I don't mean it in a dismissive way, because I really don't like when people say stuff like, everything happens for a reason. I'm like, oh, that's another one. Say that to me and like the taser's coming out.
Say the taser.
It's in the purse. I've got it. Why do you think my purse is so big?
Oh, man.
But yeah, I just think that I love that song. I listen to it and I just have tears in my eyes, because I never thought I would be sitting here today feeling the fulfillment that I have in my life after all that I went through. And I had to claw my way to get here, including, like I just mentioned, leaving an 11-year and very, very good career that I built to try and find more fulfillment in life. But it takes, I hate saying it, it takes time. And your heart does just become stronger.
I love that answer, because, yeah, like, I think if part of me just wants to say, like, yeah, like, I'm still hurting and it hurts just the same. But here I am with Sammy, who I'm in love with.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very good relationship, I think. I hope it is for you, Sammy.
Shout out to Sammy.
And, like, me and Blue have a little family again with her,
Mm-hmm.
and we have a cat, and I'm doing grief guide sessions, and I'm doing basketball trainings again, and like, yeah, if you do kind of step back, it's kind of like, wow, like, I never thought I'd have a life like this. And so even though those negative emotions are still there, I think you're so right. Like, you keep feeling it day after day, keep thinking of them, and before you know it, you put enough blocks together and you kind of built something up again.
Mm-hmm.
And you just have to deal with the fear of it always collapsing again, because you've experienced that. But
you're always holding your breath. I mean, I've had some really positive things happen in my life in the last 6 months, and I've shared with Tara, I'm always waiting for the other shoe to drop.
yeah,
That sometimes it makes it hard to be happy again. But what I know is that I've lived a lot of lives in this life, and I'm tough as nails. And I know that about myself. And, like, I just have to be resilient. I just don't have any other choice.
you really don't. About the happiness thing. How are you dealing with it? Do you allow yourself to feel happiness and it's okay, or is there guilt there, or how's that?
I think there was some guilt in the beginning. I don't really have guilt now, and I'm kind of in a mode of, like, I really don't care what people think either. Like, I'm gonna grieve loud, and I'm gonna be happy loud. So if I'm too loud for you, like, turn down the volume and unfollow me.
Yeah,
that's fine.
It's pretty easy, yeah.
But I just feel like everyone deserves to be happy, and I'm doing the very best I can, and I know that, and I remind myself that every single day, like, because I can be so hard on myself, right? Like, to your point, I compare my productivity of, like, how like organized and, like, just type A I was before the death, and then after the death, I'm like, oh, I didn't pay that bill and it's going to collections. Like, I don't effing care.
Yeah, I don't care. Come take me to jail.
I was like, I'm going to get arrested.
I
was like, I'm going to get arrested. No, kidding. Not getting arrested.
Not that again.
No, I have never been arrested, for the record.
Sure.
I think my wrists are a little too sensitive for the shackles.
Sure, yeah.
So, but yeah, no, I just feel like I'm not guilty that I've found happiness after loss. And there's always going to be that feeling there. There's always going to be that sadness. But, like, the only way to survive is to keep keeping on.
I'm always hesitant to ask about shame because I don't want to imply that you should feel bad because you shouldn't at all. But real quick, I struggle with shame. Is that something that you're dealing with, working through, or maybe not experiencing at all?
I think guilt and shame. So my really great aunt, who's one of my very good friends, has taught me that guilt and shame are two wasted emotions. And that's something that she's expressed to me, which is easier said than done, right?
Yeah.
They're still emotions nonetheless.
Right.
And so I don't have shame. I have guilt. I wish I would have never gone back to work, and I wish he would have never been at daycare that day. Because in my mind, for 4.5 years now, I've thought if he was home with me, I had that outlet on his foot every time he took a nap or went to sleep, which monitors their oxygen levels and it alerts you if they're starting to dip. So guilt that I didn't enforce that being used at daycare, and guilt that I went back to work and didn't become a stay-at-home mom to try and avoid this happening. And that's me trying to tell myself that I could have changed it.
Sorry, I just have another question pop into my head. I don't want anyone to feel bad. It's not my goal here. But within the situation, I think you have an opportunity to be mad at other people. Like, you could if you wanted to. Is that something you've done or have never done, or what's that been like?
Yeah, I mean, there had to be a full investigation with what happened just due to the circumstances, and having to read that police report was absolutely gruesome. I even sent William's DNA and family history into Boston Children's Hospital because I was like, obviously the Utah medical examiner doesn't know what he's doing, because how does a healthy baby just stop breathing, you know? And so we tried to get a second opinion, and that took many, many months, and a lot of anger, obviously, towards the daycare. A lot of anger.
No,
mostly
that's why I asked.
Mostly because of confusion. Like, and I think that's where the shame is like, not being there for his last breath. It, like, breaks my heart.
Me too. Like, why can't I be in the car?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
And I just hate the thought of, like, him dying alone. It just makes me so sick.
What was the last thing you thought about? You know, like, those questions haunt me. Rip your heart out.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you want to say about your grief, or anyone else, or William, or anything at all ever?
I don't know. I'm just working hard to try and be better day by day. And then sometimes there's days like yesterday, I didn't get out of bed until 2:00, and that's okay too. And it's going to come in waves. You know, it used to be 3 days a week I couldn't get out of bed, and now it's maybe twice a month. So I'm like, we're making progress, and we just keep on moving. But this has been really, you know, I've done my therapy. It took me a long time to get to therapy, but once I did, I was really grateful I did it, and just kind of just writing out this year different steps that are going to really help me just process this loss. I just feel like I have a little bit more clarity now in my life. You're in such a fog and such a blur.
Yeah.
And that you're just in survival mode, right? And you're just like doing everything you can to just like get up every day.
Exactly. You're just a baby again. Like, you're just learning how to walk and eat again. Like,
oh my gosh, the amount of times my friends have to remind me to eat.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
it's so true.
Why are you not eating? Like, are you trying to starve yourself, or are you just... And I have this older hair client. She's very, very sassy. And I told her, yeah, like, my friend, he told me that I need to be eating breakfast. And she straight looked at me and said, are you telling me you need a man to tell you that you need to eat and you can't just figure it out yourself? And I was like, Pat, I'm going to need you to calm down. Like, I don't care that you're 83 years old. The attitude needs to come down 6 notches.
You got to bring it down, girl.
Or I'm just not going to share those parts of my story with you.
Yeah, you can't.
And I'm like, no, but I'm grateful I have friends that like Tara, for example.
Tara's here today.
Yeah. She knows when I haven't eaten because my hands will start shaking real bad. And she's like, we need to get you a cheeseburger. Like, because you just kind of, and it's not even just related to grief. I mean, you just get in the motions and you're busy. But yeah, like you do kind of become a toddler again. And you're like, I'm at the phase now where I feel like I'm being really well taken care of by my friends and family. And it's hard because I feel like I was always that person for others.
Yeah.
And it's hard letting people take care of you.
It's hard asking for help. Yeah.
It definitely is.
Well, thank you so much. You're great.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I've followed you for a very long time, and my mom listens to every single one of your episodes.
We love you, Mom. If you love Jesus, that's great. I'm sorry for everything I said.
Yeah. She was really excited. She actually wanted to fly up here to meet you and be here with me, but we've got some family stuff going on, so she's staying put in Arizona. But
well, shout out to her, and yeah, imagine what she's going through.
Yeah,
she's going through it too. Okay, you know how we end then. If you've been following us, you know the drill.
I do know the drill.
Top 3 favorite movies, desert island style. This is all you get the rest of your life.
Okay, but based off watching other episodes, I think you're going to judge my choices.
Well, yeah, that's the whole point.
Okay, I wanted to clarify that is anticipated.
Yeah, I'll let you know. Yeah.
Okay. All right, you ready for the first one?
Legally Blonde.
Come on.
Oh, okay, what is it?
A Walk to Remember.
Oh, darn, you're going right for the jugular, man. That was tough.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, my sister Carly loved that movie in high school.
Mandy Moore, Shane West.
Heartbreaker.
Yeah, horrible.
Why are you watching that? How can you watch that?
My sister introduced it to me when I was like 9 years old.
Yeah, they like jump off into the water or something. Isn't there a scene?
The car. Yeah, the car. Oh, no, they jump off. Yeah.
And then
the kid gets paralyzed.
Right. And yeah, it's coming back to me. Anyway, brutal number 1, but
and then he falls in love with Mandy Moore.
Who wouldn't fall in love with Double M?
Yeah. I mean, and then she got cancer.
I didn't know that.
And she died.
Mandy Moore's dead?
No, wait. Okay, for those who haven't seen the movie, I just gave it all away. So you guys don't have to watch it.
Wait. We need to clarify Double M. Is Mandy Moore okay?
No, Mandy Moore herself is okay. The character, I can't really remember her name in the show.
I live under a rock. I don't do stuff.
So there's that one. Next one.
Okay.
You're gonna like this one.
Okay.
Coyote Ugly.
I do like that one. At least you got some sexy girls doing some sexy stuff.
And it gave me an awesome karaoke song that I've used for many, many years.
What one's that?
Can't Fight the Moonlight.
Okay. That's another one. I haven't seen that one forever.
Yeah.
But I could watch that one again.
That one's great.
Okay, number 3.
How to Train Your Dragon.
Have you seen the live action with Gerard?
No, not yet. But
not as good as a cartoon, but it's good.
That came out when I was an adult, and I thought it was seriously one of the best movies.
I surprised Courtney once with a movie, because we always go to movies. It's like our thing. And I didn't tell her what it was this time. I'm like, we're just going to go there, and you're just going to sit there, and the preview, like, you'll have to learn what it is. And it was How to Train Your Dragon.
Was it?
Yeah.
That's special.
It was great, yeah.
I've loved that movie for so many years.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
My kitty, we call him, what's the black dragon's name? Toothless. We call him Toothless sometimes because he looks, when his ears go down, he kind of looks like.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good list.
It's
Coyote Ugly tonight.
Yeah. You've got your agenda for the evening.
Yeah, Sammy's out of town, so I could do some Coyote Ugly. Life's 10% what happens to you, and 90% how you respond to it.